what's your 2 cents around this?
Briefly, so we're just beginning our journey into Teams. So I was the Exchange guy. I'm now the Office 365 guy. I kind of took over a bit of Skype, but I'm not SharePoint at all. I've got no background in that at all. For me, our SharePoint guy is not that interested. He's just not. He's not getting the ball rolling. So it's come down to me and some of the other guys who are more focused on collaboration. We have another guy. He's put in about 40 service hubs for us. He's all about collaboration. And he's the one that's really taken it forward and been evangelizing.
And his background's not SharePoint, you said, right?
Not SharePoint. No, he looks after our MDM.
Got it.
Yeah, and so he's putting in Skype room systems, Surface hubs, and he's the guy who's really pushing our collaboration forwards.
And how's it coming along so far?
Good. Yeah, we're a Skype for Business server, so we're just taking the unique functionality of Teams initially, and then we're moving forward with the voice afterwards.
But I suspect you still bring in the SharePoint folks, right? Because there's that whole collab document management aspect of it too.
Absolutely, but they're not leading it. They're coming along with us.
Got it.
We're dragging them along a little bit.
Awesome. Well, no, that
to be fair, sorry, Dux, to be fair, I think one of the things we have seen in Office 365 is that SharePoint has been popularized by the success of groups and teams.
True.
I mean, you think about the number of site collections that are out there today, and you just look at the number of people that are using them. There's a huge influence over what Microsoft has done in that space to give SharePoint a more human face. Nobody loves that browser interface, not even Martina.
Martina, looks like you don't agree. What's up?
It's just I can't 100% agree because many of my projects start with OneDrive for Business and people love that. And it's on SharePoint as well. And I don't see, there is a driver in teams and groups for sure to have SharePoint involved as well. But if you have a strong SharePoint community already in your organization, they are quite happy with SharePoint Online because they get a lot of functionality and new services in there, and they can use it from wherever they want. So I don't see that it's an additional driver, but it's not the main driver with teams and groups.
Yeah,
just look at the numbers.
Yeah, I think that's starting out for colleagues, right? They don't get the SharePoint piece too well right off the bat, right? And we've always had this problem through the years, right? I mean, we go back to seeing Dux in 2009, 2010, always with these talks around, end user enablement and things of that nature. And the one thing for 365 that I've seen actually go real well is getting them accustomed to the synchronization options that are available, so they can look exactly like a normal file share would, even though these things now live in the cloud. And then when they start to ask, hey, I'd like to do a little bit more with this. Can it do this or can it do that? That's the entry point into the web version of it, of like, yeah, you can do all of that, but you've got to do it on the web version where you can have all of your metadata set up. You can have everything going, put it into different site collections and things like that to really enable those use cases that people say, hey, I want to have this person use it. I want to have this person just be able to see X, but not the whole thing,
But I think that's one of the challenge. Now, this is going against what I talked about earlier, at least on the tweet, is I find that sometimes is a challenge with really hardcore SharePoint folks, right? They're all SharePoint. They're worshiping SharePoint. But these days, frankly, when I talk to customers, when they talk about collab, team working together, don't even use the S word. It's teams. That's it, right? But no, we got to have a SharePoint team site. I go, dude, it's part of it. But just say teams. Don't even bring up SharePoint. And then there's just this. It's not right or wrong, but it's just this shift, I guess, on how you position. In the end, if teams can really help drive the adoption and the usage, and more importantly, help the business do better at what they do, then yeah, don't use the S word. But I think the skill set and the discipline of what the SharePoint folks had to learn through the years helps out a lot in the complexity of the platform.
Well, there's complex parts of all parts of the platform. Let's not run away from that. SharePoint was complex or is complex on premises. It's a lot more simplified in the cloud because Microsoft takes away a whole pile of complexity. So that's good. The same is true of Exchange. The same is true of Skype or
OneDrive
meetings or whatever. OneDrive. Actually, the thing that got me thinking there as people were talking is that one of the biggest technology shifts that have made SharePoint storage or OneDrive storage much more feasible for people has been the OneDrive synchronization client. Once that started to work properly, not the old groove.exe, but the new OneDrive.exe.
Two separate sync clients, right?
Yeah, but once it started to work properly and it was reliable and you could depend on it, oh my gosh, that just changed the game completely. That was brilliant.